Hello everybody, welcome back again to your channel Echo Engineering. In this video, we are going to solve a real-world Python interview task together. I took this problem from LeetCode website, and it says you are given an array of prices where prices I is the price of a given stock on the I's day. And you want to maximize your profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a different day in the future to sell that stock. It's important to notice that we are only allowed to open a long position. We are only allowed to open a buy position, okay? And return the maximum profit you can achieve from this transaction. If you cannot achieve any profit, return zero. For example, it says if the prices list is 715364, which each of these prices represents for the close price for the same day. If we have an array like that, the output should be 5. Why? If we buy for in the first day, we don't gain any profit, but if we buy in the second day and we sell it in the fifth day, which the index is 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we would gain $5. For example, our currency is dollar. But if we buy it in the third day, at the max, we would have gained $1. And if you buy here with $3, we would have gained $3 if we have sold it when the price is 6. And if we buy it here when the price is 6, we wouldn't gain anything. So the result would be 5. This is very important. We just allowed to buy. And to solve this problem, we use two different approaches. Both of them are correct. But it's very important to notice if in the interview you use the first approach, you would be immediately rejected because the first one is very time consuming. But the second one, which is using the techniques named sliding window, and it is very important to learn it, is much more efficient and it consumes less time. So I highly recommend you to watch both sections. The first section, which is the conventional approach, mostly the programmers, the first thing that they think about is using this approach. But the second one, learn it, practice it by a lot to be professional in using it. And if you are not familiar with Python, I will leave you the link to the video, the full tutorial for Python Basic here. You can watch it, learn it, and come back here to solve this problem. So this is our prices list, and each of these prices is actually corresponding for the close of the price in each days. And what we are gonna, and the index for the first one is 0, for the second one is 1, and for the third one is 2, and go on. So how we are gonna to solve this problem? To solve it, first we define an empty list. We call it max list, and this max list actually calculate the maximum possible profit for each days. For example, if we buy at 4, the maximum profit that we could gain if we buy at 4 would be to sell it at 13. So then we would have gained 9. And then we calculate again it for 7. So for 4, then 9 would be maximum profit. We add this 9 to our max list. Then for 7, the maximum profit would be when we sell it at 13. So it would be 13 minus 7. It would be 6. For second day, the maximum profit that we could gain will be 6. And like that, we add it to our max list, okay? So we define a function, we call it max profit, and it has an input. The input is price list, like that. And in this function, first of all, we define max list. It is an empty list. We add the maximum possible profit, the maximum possible profit for each day to this list at the end of the function. So then we define a for loop, and for I in range of length of this price list, okay, minus 1, Why -1? Because I don't want to calculate the maximum profit for last day, because we have no idea what is the price for tomorrow. Then the profit for last day is not meaningful. So we want to, this for loop starts with I equal to 0 until I equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, until 10, up to but not included 10. Okay, then here we define a temporary variable. We call it max profit temp. It stands for temporary, and it is equal to 0 at the beginning of each I, at the beginning of each price. It says so maximum profit is 0. Then compare it with the second one. Then compare it with the third one. Then compare it for first one, second one, and third one, like that. Okay. Then we say for k in range. Now we don't want to start from 0, but k should start, if I is, for example, here is 0, then k should start from index 1. If I is equal to 2, which is for this price, then k should start from 3 to the end. So then we want k to start from I plus 1 until length of the price list. Okay, and here we say maximum profit temp is equal to a maximum of this variable itself and the subtraction of days k with days I, because this is how we calculate the profit. We just subtract the price at days k with days I. Okay, we say price list k minus price list I. So at the end of this for loop, we say maximum list dot append this variable that we have here. It will be the maximum profit that we could gain for day I. So when everything is finished, we want to return this maximum list. Of course, we don't want to return the list. We want to return the maximum of this list, but just to see it, let's see how it is working. I press Shift and Enter. The function is running. I call this function, and inside of our function, we add the price. We add our list. This is our list. If I press Shift and Enter, it will return us this list. This list tells us for the first day the maximum profit that we could gain is 9. For the second day is 6. For the third day is 11, and so on. But honestly, the problem, the question doesn't ask for the list. It asks us to return a value, a number. So we use max. This is a function in Python itself, and we want to return the maximum of this list that we have here. So like that, it says that the maximum profit that you could gain is 11. So what if we use this list here? Okay, it should return us 5. If I add it here, instead of pricing this list, if I add this one and press Shift and Enter, and again Shift and Enter, it returns us 5. And if we add this one, it should return us 0. And 0, it returns us 0. Okay, this is the first and easiest way to solve this problem. But as I mentioned before, if you solve it like that, it is correct, but it is not acceptable. And if in the interview you solve it like that, you would be immediately rejected, because whenever we add new days, actually too many iterations will be added to our function, and somehow it exponentially decreases the speed of our code. So in the next section, we go with a much more efficient approach, which it is based on sliding window, and we see it, how efficient it can be and how better it is for solving this problem. How does it work? We have two sliders. The first one is the yellow one, which is the left pointer, and the second one is the red one, which is the right pointer. And we have a variable named max p, which is the maximum profit, and the initial value for it is 0. At the beginning, we compare the price corresponding to the red to the yellow one. If the red price is greater than the yellow price, then we subtract this value with this value. In this case, it would be 3. And between 0 and 3, we choose the maximum price. We choose the one which is bigger. So in this case, 7 minus 4 would be 3. 3 is greater than 0, so this one would be 3. Then we add our red one by 1. It will go forward. Again, it compared with the yellow one. In this case, the red one is not greater than the yellow one. If it is not greater than the yellow one, we transfer the yellow one to the red one. Again, we add it. In this case, again, the red one is greater to the price for the yellow one. The yellow one is left pointer, the red one is right pointer. So 6 minus 2 is 4. Between 4 and 3, which one is the bigger one? 4 is the bigger one. So maximum P will change to 4. Again, we add the right pointer by 1. 3 is greater than 2. Then 3 minus 2 would be 1. Between 1 and 4, which one is the greater? 4 is the greater one, so maximum profit would be 4. We add the red one, which is the right pointer, by 1 again. 6 is greater than 2. Then 6 minus 2 would be 4. 4 between 4 and 4, both of them are the same. The maximum P still remain 4. We add the red one, which is the right pointer. 4 greater than 2. 4 minus 2 would be 2. Between 2 and 4, 4 is the bigger one. Add it again. Between 13 and 2, 13 minus 2 would be 11. Between 11 and 4, 11 is the bigger one. So maximum P will be 11. Again, we add the red one, which is the right pointer. 1 is not greater than 2. So when the right price is less than the left price, we transfer the left pointer to the right pointer position. Again, we add it like that. Then 8 minus 1 is 7. Between 11 and 7, 11 is the maximum one. So maximum profit would be 11. And then again, we add it, and 11 minus 1 is 10. Between 10 and 11, 11 is bigger. So it's over. This is how the sliding window technique works. We use it a lot. And what is the advantage of these techniques to the program that we wrote in the previous section? Actually, if we add only another day, the iteration, the for loop that we are using, only iterate one more time. But in the previous method that we solved the problem, when we add 1 day, if we have 10 days here and we add 1 day, then the iterations will be added by 10. For each day, 1 iteration would be added, and because we have 10 days, 10 iteration will be added. So it's very important, because we just here the program would be slower only by 1 iteration. But in the previous approach, the program would be slower by 10 more iterations if we have 10 days here. So this techniques, which it is called sliding window, actually it is O, and it's called O notation. What does it mean? Whenever you are solving a problem and you see that it should be O, and this O stands for order and this N stands for linear, it means the complexity of your code in relation with the size of the input should be linear. What does it mean? It means when you increase the size of your input by one, then the complexity of your code should be added by one. One iteration should be added in this case. In the previous approach that we solve it together, we program it together, if the size of input increases by one, then the complexity of the code, in this case, the number of the iterations, will be increased by 10, for example, or 11. It depends on the size of that we have at the beginning. Okay, so if we have, for example, 10, the size is 10. If we change the size to 11, then the complexity would be added by 10 more iterations. So whenever you see ON, it means the complexity of your code in relation with the input size should be linear. And next section, we program this approach together. So now that we know the efficient ways, we are going to do it in an object-oriented way, okay? To do it, if you are not familiar with object-oriented way, I will leave you the link to the video that I explained it here, and you can find it in the descriptions too. It's two sections. The first section is the object-oriented, and the second one is the inheritance video. Both of them are very important. We define a class for named solution, and here we define our max profit, but we call it efficient. EFF for efficient stands for efficient, and we define self. Then we define prices like that, and these prices should be a list of integers, and we want this method here returns us an integer 2. So this is how we define it. Self prices, these prices should be a list of integer. And this method returns us an integer value. Otherwise, we would have an error. We want to restrict our code to only be able to return an integer. Okay. Here we define 2 pointers, left and right, and it is equal. Both they are equal to 0 and 1 at the beginning, and we say maximum profit is equal to 0. Okay. Then we say while our right pointer is less than this should be right, and our right pointer is less than length of our prices. It means what we enter here. We could say prices list to, but I just entered prices. While this condition is true, go and run this part of the code, and we say if prices for right is greater to prices for the left pointer, if this condition is correct, then I want maximum profit be equal to the maximum of itself, this one, copy and paste, and the subtraction of this one should be like that, sorry, and we don't have this one. So if the prices of the right the prices corresponding to the right pointer is greater than the prices corresponding to the left indicator, go and calculate the maximum between maximum profit and prices for right pointer, sorry, minus prices for left pointer. If this condition that we have here is not true, it means the prices of the right pointer is less than or equal to the prices of left pointer. In this case, what should we do? We should say left pointer is equal to right pointer. Okay, just like that. And then outside of these else, I say right is equal to 1. It means right is equal to right plus 1, or in C++ we call it right plus plus. Okay, it added just the right pointer by 1, and outside of the while loop, I return our maximum profit, just like that, shift and enter. And now we have our solution class. And I say, okay, then go for solution one, and it is equal to this solution class, shift and enter. Now we say solution one dot this maximum profit. What, but still one important point here, we do not need to use self. So I deleted. Why we do not need to use self? Because we don't have the init method here. Okay, and press again shift and enter. We only have one input, and the input is the list of prices that we defined here. This one, prices, is list. I add it to our method as an input. I press shift and enter, and hopefully it works. We have an error. I should press shift and enter, shift and enter. And now, yeah, I didn't run it. I deleted the self and I didn't run it. Again, shift and enter, and it returns as 11. Okay. What if here we checked it before? This is our functional way of solving the problem. If I press shift and enter and again shift and enter, it returns as 11 too. But it is important that here, if to our list we add another element, then this function, the runtime for this function increases exponentially. But here, if we add one day, it just one iteration will be added, and it doesn't change the time of running the project by a lot. But here, it will be changed by a lot. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you liked it, do not forget to hit the like button so the YouTube algorithm will introduce us to those who are interested in these topics. Wish you good day. Bye.